have a look at the player amount bags. We're going to be looking at what they're used for, where you can find them, and which ones should you purchase. What are player bags used for? They are used for extra storage space in your bank. So if we go over here to my bank and have a look, there's a bunch of bags in my bank. If we hit our walk key and right click, we can open one of these bags. You can see what your walk key is bound to in your keybinds. The walk key is used for fainting, and mine is bound to E here, so if I press E and right click, then I open the bags up. So as you can see here, we have loads of different bags. Each of these bags have a different amount of slots, and this is what the player bags are used for: extra storage and organizing your items. We also do have the mount bags as well. We have the small mount bags and large mount bags, and I'll be going through the differences between those two as well. So where can you find the player amount bags? Well, you can find them at your closest equipment vendor in your closest town. So here we are in Varda. Here's our equipment vendor, and if we have a look at what he's selling, boom, here we are. He has his usual pickaxes and hatchets that he had before, and now he has all of these different types of bags that you can buy. As you can see, they range from 10 silver upwards to 6 gold. So when you first start purchasing bags, it can be confusing, like which bag should I be buying, which one's going to be best for me. All the difference between the bags are just how many slots they have. As you can see here, we have all 6 different types of player bags, and they all go up in 2 slot increments to each other. Small bag being the smallest with 6 slots, and capacious being the biggest bag with 16 slots. Personally, I like to go somewhere in the middle, and I've been purchasing quite a few large bags just because it's nice and neat with 2 rows of items, and each large bag only costs 3 gold. So that means I can purchase 2 large bags for the price of 1 capacious bag, meaning I'm getting 24 slots for items for 6 gold, compared to the capacious bag for 6 gold you only get 16 slots of items. Right, now let's go ahead and bag and purchase 16 slots. Personally, I like to go somewhere in the middle, and I've been purchasing quite a few large bags just because it's nice and neat with 2 rows of items, and each large bag,
your skill has increased,
3 gold. So that means I can purchase 2 large bags for the price of 1 capacious bag, meaning I'm getting 24 slots for items for 6 gold, compared to the capacious bag for 6 gold you only get 16 slots of items. Right, now let's go ahead and have a look at mount bags. So there are 2 different types of mount bags. You have small mount bags and large mount bags. The only difference between the 2 bags is how many slots they have. So if we have a look at the small mount bags here, they have 12 slots of space. If we have a look at the large mount bags here, they have 24 slots of space. So mount bags do not affect how much weight a horse can carry, just how many slots the horse can have. At the moment, all horses can carry up to 600 kilos, regardless of what bag they have equipped. The small mount bags are 30 silver and the large mount bags are 50 silver. If you're just going on a mining trip and you know you're not gathering loads of different types of materials, then it's best just to take a small bag with you, because you're not going to have 24 slots of ore. If you want to see more videos like these, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you have any video suggestions, or if you have any constructive criticism, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video or in game. And as always, peace out.
So this is a new MMORPG. It's called Mortal Online 2.
I really don't understand why nobody...
Hey guys.
I know why. Oh, there's a new Andrew Callahan, but I don't think I can play it without or no, I can play it, but I just can't be AFK. Yeah, ooh, new Andrew. Oh no, Nexon didn't lose actually. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna add to queue. Add to queue. Oh, cool. Metal detector and shovel. Dragon rocket. Ooh, dragon rocket launcher.
As you know, for the past couple episodes, we've been covering drugs and homelessness.
No, wait. So stop. Yeah, close the player. So I want you to add to queue. Add to queue.
Hello. As you
God
know,
damn
for
it.
the past
So
couple...
why did you play the second video
What
then?
friendo?
God damn it, you're so stupid, YouTube. Add to queue. Add to queue. What else do you have? Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I like Enshrouded, but... Ooh, yeah, new legal. Yeah, okay, add to queue. And there's a new Amiru. From 4 days ago, they made Asmongold leave the house, which is good. New Jake Leet. We'll listen to that. I like Jake Leet. And 50 hours of Enshrouded from Force Gaming. I played 20 hours so far. I don't know, or 25, I think, something like that. We'll see what we'll see what he says.
Welcome back. Today, I wasn't going to release a video, but apparently I've been dragged into this one. Kicking and screaming, didn't really have any interest in it, but I feel like I'm going to need to. So I'm
What?
chilling, playing some Pal World, you know, not really doing anything, not doing much, and I get tagged in a tweet by OnePeg. OnePeg is a extraction-based, you know, gaming YouTuber. Apparently he's been covering the old Dark and Darker thing, which I have also done. At least now I believe we're on... What up, friendos? Welcome back. Today, I wasn't going to release a video, but apparently I've been dragged into this one. Kicking and screaming, didn't really have any interest in it, but I feel like I'm going to need to. So I'm chilling, playing some Pal World, you know, not really doing anything, not doing much, and I get tagged in a tweet by OnePeg. OnePeg is a extraction-based,
I don't want to be on that
you know,
Apex,
gaming
no.
YouTuber. Apparently he's been covering the old Dark and Darker thing, which I have also done. At least now I believe we're on diametrically opposed positions on this one, where I believe that based on the evidence I've seen, Nexon has a good point about what Iron Mace has done. I'm not going to get into all the nuts and bolts of why I think this. I just believe that they've presented, in my brain, the more compelling evidence publicly. Now, the big thing here is whether or not this is true, whether or not, you know, if Iron Mace did steal, if Nexon has a point, we're going to find out eventually, because the court is going to see the evidence and they're going to decide. So basically, what's happened today is there's been a W for Iron Mace, at least perception-wise, from people that have not read the actual information. So first, I'll show you the tweets that got me dragged into this, and then we'll go over why I need to make this video, and also the real, you know, objective reporting of what's actually happened. So this was the original tweet from OnePeg. LeMayo, I fucking told y'all Nexon America and Nexon Korea had their bullshit case dismissed in both US and Korean court. This is factually untrue, as we're going to get to in a second. This is just objectively didn't happen. And 30 seconds worth of Googling would have shown you that it didn't happen. iMace is free. Hey, at Kira on TV, which is my Twitter handle, unfortunately. In case you weren't following Bud, insert the smugness, maybe make a wee vid retracting all that looks like infringement, smiley face. Now, I just want to make it clear, there's no personal beef here, at least on my end. I'm not gonna, you know, little bro him and say I didn't know this guy existed, because I was aware his channel existed. I've just never watched any of his videos. I don't think I've ever mentioned him before, and I've certainly never spoken to him or tweeted at him or made him the topic of any videos or anything, because there's no reason to, right? We don't have a beef, at least not on my end. I didn't know this was a thing. And then he posted the what Iron Mace has posted to their server. Now, I've gone over this repeatedly, how Iron Mace, the idea that you're going to trust 100% one-to-one what Iron Mace posts in their Discord server during a legal dispute is kind of naive and silly, because they're not going to tell you everything that's going on. One, they don't need to, and two, there's just really no reason. They're going to say what looks good for them, because that's what everybody does. Every business does it, every human does it. It is what it is. So they've said yesterday Nexon's preliminary injunction against iMace for trade secrets and copyright infringement was dismissed. It was. We're going to get to that in a minute. The court ruled that iMace's game cannot be viewed as infringing on Nexon's copyright or trade secrets. We're going to get to this in a minute, because that's not what I've been reading. Nice. They know better, of course. But I'm going to get to what's being reported in Korean media versus what we've got here. thus rejecting the claims and suspicions that Dark and Darker was developed by using Nexon's trade secrets and infringing on its copyright. It wasn't. In addition, the court ruled that Dark and Darker service should not be suspended based on Nexon's claims and evidence alone. The court's decision regarding unfair competition is disappointing in that it came from a situation where Nexon did not even submit the P3 game itself as official evidence. There's so much context here, and I don't want to make like a super deep dive of all the small things you need to know for this to even make sense. But basically, there was two injunctions, preliminary injunctions going on during this lawsuit. It was Nexon filed an injunction to basically block Dark and Darker and Iron Mace from operating, full stop. You cannot operate the game. And if this would have gone through, I said at the time that this was brought up. I don't like that this is a thing, and hopefully it doesn't go through, because then Nexon's going to just win this lawsuit by attrition, right? Whether they're right or wrong, which has always been my point. Regardless of what I believe, regardless if I think Nexon's right, I want it to be proven in a court of law. Because that's the way everybody wins, right? Or if Iron Mace is going to win, I want them to prove that they did nothing wrong, because then justice is served. If Nexon wins because Iron Mace can't operate their game and therefore can't earn money to fight the lawsuit, then nobody really wins, because we don't find out whether Nexon just the big bad or whether Iron Mace did anything wrong. It's a lose-lose for everybody. So that's never been my position. So basically, this injunction that was filed, the judge said, no, we're not going to let them. It would be unfair if we stop them operating a game that we've not even decided yet, because a preliminary injunction is not the main lawsuit. It is just that. It's a preliminary step. So we're not going to say that they can't operate business when we've not even decided and gone through a whole lawsuit to see whether or not they've done anything wrong. So we're not going to do it. And on the same side, which doesn't get mentioned here, at least explicitly for people that aren't following along super closely, Iron Mace also filed an injunction that conveniently Wampeg has ignored. I don't know if he knew it existed or not. We'll get into that in a minute. But basically, Iron Mace filed an injunction to say, leave us alone, Nexon. It was the leave us alone, Nexon injunction. And the judge also swatted that one away. So both of these have been dismissed. So it's a W in one column and a W in another column, or maybe two L's that are making one overall W, who knows. And then it talks about the evidence that's been presented, and Nexon didn't put forward P3, which they wouldn't do during a preliminary injunction. And then they go on to say, if sufficient and thorough evidence is investigated in the main lawsuit, the truth about the unfairness of Nexon's claims and the instance of Iron Mace will be revealed. So, Wampeg, we're going to get into his responses to me in a minute, because this is fucking just so stupid. I really don't know why this happened. Wampeg didn't even read this response, and then we'll get into what he said to me. I said, who hurt you, little bro? Because I'm just like, why am I fucking getting dragged into your tweet about something? At this point, I'd not even read what was going on. I just read what he said and was like, okay, they won the preliminary injunction. Like, what does that matter to me? Why am I getting tagged in this? And he said, this somehow doesn't seem like a shocking response from you. This isn't like a oh my feelings tweet. You historically have stood on the side of looks like copyright infringement as the main theme of several videos regarding the case. You were wrong. That's it. Well, I've not been proven wrong yet. And again, I'm just going to explain something for you here. If you don't understand how the law works, which many people don't, myself included fully, even if Nexon lost, that doesn't necessarily mean that Iron Mace didn't do the things that they are claiming that they did. The legal world, especially civil cases, are a fucking zoo. You can literally be right and lose. I'll give you an example. You look at how Valve won lawsuits against them from parents saying your game, CSGO or whatever, sells loot boxes, which are essentially gambling for kids. I think anyone on a common sense level can look at what, CSGO skins being worth money, being gambled with, opening them with a literal slot machine on your screen for money with no barrier for entry for children. I think anyone could say that looks like gambling for kids, right? Because you can sell the things, you lose money, you win money. But the way that Valve won on one of those lawsuits was the parents said, basically, Valve doesn't warn people that this is gambling and therefore kids are gambling without knowing. And Valve's defense essentially said, do you go on the Valve website and read all the posts and updates that they release? And the parents said no. And the judge was just like, Well, you lose then, because you just demonstrated that even if they posted a notice saying, gambling bad, we are gambling, you wouldn't have read it. So therefore your kid would have still done it, and therefore case dismissed, peace, bye-bye, you've lost. So the idea that you can just have things go to a legal process and just 100% of the time things come out that the right thing happened, the right judgment, it's fairy tale land. Lawsuits are ridiculously complicated. You can have good points, you can be right, and you can still lose. This is just true across the board. It is what it is. If you look into any form of civil cases, you will see that this is true. So my initial response was, because it does look like, from what they've said, from the evidence I've seen from both sides, it does look like copyright infringement, which we're going to get into in a minute. Maybe not copyright infringement, maybe more the trade secrets issue. Whether or not that was actionable was always the question. A question I asked and raised multiple times, which I have. If a court deemed it isn't, that doesn't necessarily mean IMACE was morally correct or did nothing wrong. That's simply not how the law works, my friend. He responded and said, did you read the letter? We've established you didn't, because you said that everything's been dismissed in both territories, US and Korea, which the letter didn't say. So apparently I did read it and you didn't, so it's weird to say that to me. Nexon didn't even submit a copy of P3 into evidence, a $30+ billion company with unlimited assets and a massive legal budget, and you're still pulling the it doesn't necessarily mean. Yeah, I'm pulling that because it's true. I tagged you because you were the poster child and we can't read this because all this shit's been deleted. So then I said, you're also misrepresenting what has actually happened, which somehow doesn't seem like, and again, you are going to see that this was deleted in a second, doesn't seem like a shocking response from you. The case is not dismissed. You're literally posting false information. Your haste to own me. You've misled your followers. I think you'd want to, and I went on to say something like, I think you'd want to fact check things before putting it forward and, trying to get one over on people. I don't really remember what I said. And then he deleted it because he's wrong, he was wrong. And he said, IMACE is free, pumping brakes tweet. IMACE still has the rest of the lawsuit to deal with, which will probably take years, but no evidence of P3 being submitted by Nexon Korea means they got shit to stand on, and Dark and Darker will likely be back on Steam soon. If that was the case, the whole case would have been dismissed, but it hasn't been. Saying they've got nothing to stand on, as we're about to see, is a really silly statement. He also, at one point during this conversation, said, because I obviously said the case has not been dismissed, he thought I meant it's not been dismissed because Nexon's going to just, take them to the cleaners and just kick the can down the road for a couple of years, which is not what I was referring to. I was just referring to the fact that there has been no judgment in the actual main legal case, just the injunctions, so he's just talking nonsense. So I just responded and said, don't worry, bro, I preserved the original tweet and responses for you, and I'll make sure to put them in a place that they're viewed in the light they should be. And then obviously he apologized. He said, perfect, I'm glad it provided an adequate content insertion for you. I will say you were right though. I shouldn't have tagged you in the tweet, it was petty, and I apologize. Essentially what I said in response is, I wonder, considering you not only did this, you then doubled down and tripled down when you thought you were right, and then when you did 30-second Google searching, realized you were wrong, and now you're apologizing to me after you tripled down on, trying to get one over on somebody who is a fucking stranger on the internet. I've never spoken to you. I don't know why you did this. It's really weird. And Big Fry came in and said, what's this animosity about video games? I'm just like, I don't know. I have no fucking idea, to be honest. So now let's go over what's really been said and what's really happening, because I do feel like somebody should do this, because I know in the Dark and Darker community there's probably going to be a lot of fist pumping, and I do think you need to probably pump the brakes on this one, because if what's been reported in the Korean media is true, this is not as much of a W as you thought it was, and this has still got a lot of legs. It's still going to go pretty far. So according to Legal Community, on the 26th, the 31st Civil Division of the Suwon District Court, Chief Judge Kim Se-yoon, dismissed the preliminary injunction case filed by Nexon against IMACE, including prohibition of trade secrets and copyright infringement the day before. Triggered the day before. We go on because none of this is really relevant. On the same day, they also dismissed IMACE's application for a temporary injunction against Nexon. According to the ruling, the court ruled that the case should be handled on the merits rather than at a preliminary injunction stage, obviously. The court ruled that there is no need for preservation in injunction lawsuit filed by Nexon against IMACE, including prohibition of trade secrets and copyright infringement.
Oh my god!
Here we go, guys.
It's a 7, man.
Everyone needs to own me, because I have the opinion that I think, maybe there's some validity to what Nexon has said. He is a fucking Korean court that's seen what evidence that we've also seen in filings and stuff, but apparently I'm a fucking idiot. The court noted it was highly likely that Dark and Darker had illegally stolen the P3 results. Man, that's crazy. So the court said it is difficult to find any discussion of the direction and overall setting of the game, which seems to have been done in the early development stages of the debtor, Iron Mace, or verification of possibilities, etc. And Iron Mace did not participate in the game development process. Quote, a lot of the circumstances that make us suspect that Nexon's achievements were used are also clearly explained, he said. So what this says, if you need me to, you know, read between the lines for you, is the evidence that I've seen and come to the conclusion that Nexon probably does have a point. Again, is it actionable in court? Who knows? Not a fucking lawyer. The judge has also seen the same evidence and went, yeah, you've got a good point there. We are going to go forward and get everything out there, and it's going to run a full trial, and then we're going to decide. But they think, based on this, and there's multiple articles you can go and read that saying the same thing, they think that this has merit and that Nexon does have a point. It does look like there is, what they've said has merit, and that Iron Mace may have done this. So I don't know, man. This is, you know, I don't see where I'm getting owned on Twitter by somebody I've never spoken to about something that he didn't fucking read. So however, it was judged that, quote, it is difficult to say that the materials submitted to date have sufficiently demonstrated the need to urgently ban the distribution of Iron Mace games through a provisional injunction prior to the judgment on the merits. So what they're saying is, and again, this did come up in another article, I don't know if they mentioned that in this one, they're basically saying, you know, it would be unfair on both sides. It would be unfair with the injunction from Iron Mace to Nexon if they couldn't file DMCAs and stuff like that, which is what the injunction would have stopped. And it would be unfair on Iron Mace's side if Nexon could stop them operating the project so they wouldn't have money to fight the lawsuit. The court has basically been the most fair it possibly fucking could in this circumstance. It just has. This is not really a W on either side, to be honest, other than the court saying, you know, we think Nexon has a point. You know, what we've seen so far, we think they have a point. But it's just, this is just not the venue to decide it right now, because this was about the injunctions. It's not the main fucking trial. So in addition, regarding the request for injunction filed by Iron Mace, he stated, quote, there is a high possibility that the P3 game and its plans, which are the result of the P3 project, are considered Nexon's achievements created through Nexon's considerable investment or effort. So now, read what the judge just said, the judge presiding over this case. Then read what Iron Mace just said. They're two totally different things. They're literally they are misleading their audience by saying, oh, it's been dismissed. It's written in a very specific way, you'll notice, that they're saying this has been dismissed, and you know, they've said that there's no merit to it. That's not what I'm fucking reading, unless, again, all these publications, you could go check them yourself, are all lying about what the judge has said. And I've checked 4 or 5 different sources on this. There's 3 open here, and on my other tab, one of the many that are open, there's the whole thing here. As you can see, I've checked the sources here. So unless all these websites are wrong, they're all reporting false information, this is what the judge is saying. And if it is wrong, then I guess that'll come up and we'll report on that as well. Nexon claims that during the development, we all know, like, we don't have to go over this. This is just what Nexon's claiming. This is what Iron Mace is claiming. On the other hand, Dark and Darker is a game developed directly by Iron Mace from the beginning. No inappropriate trade secrets have been used. So as the court decided to reject Nexon's application, Dark and Darker is expected to be able to operate in Korea until the results of the main lawsuit are announced. On the 4th, the Game Management Committee approved Dark and Darker's rating, not available to minors. As Dark and Darker has been discontinued on Steam, it is currently being serviced on the Champ and Blacksmith platforms. A Nexon official said, we believe that the ban on Dark and Darker service has been postponed. Since the injunction decision does not mean a final legal judgment, we plan to seek the court's careful review and judgment on trade secrets and copyright in the main lawsuit. An Iron Mace official declined to comment, saying, we respect the judicial decision and will tell you as soon as our position is resolved. One Peg has responded, this is the last thing I'm going to go over. So, you know, when he apologised, I said, I wonder whether you would be saying that if you'd not been immediately proven wrong and had to eat shit because of not doing a 30-second Google search. No clue why you did this, man. Really pathetic, honestly. And yeah, I'll need to make content about it if this is the level of objective reporting you're capable of delivering. You didn't just do it, you double and triple down and now only change your tune when you realise you fucked up. Shows all I need to know about your character, my man. Sad really, because I would have been more than happy to have a conversation with you if you had me on your mind and my position. But I guess trying to win internet points over strangers is where you're at. And he just responded and said, okay, serious response time. Admittedly, I stated the case was dismissed, which the PI was, but not the remaining lawsuit. You also didn't report on the other side of the matter that the Iron Mace PI was dismissed also, but obviously you're on the side of, am I right? Am I going to be proven right? And not the side of, let's report what's actually going on, which is my biggest problem with this, is I don't see it as, me versus you. I didn't even fucking know this was a beef that was going on. I see it as I have an opinion of what I believe to have happened based on what I've seen, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that what I've seen, what I've took in from this case, I believe this thing. You obviously believe the other side, but it's hard for me to then reconcile that you have come to this conclusion in taking the same objective information when you're doing stuff like this, where you're trying to get one over on me and you're trying to post information before you've even fact-checked it yourself, as we'll go into here. He says, not that you'd believe it or care, but there was another chat going on in Discord DMs with an IMACE rep that made me realise the remaining lawsuit was still ongoing prior to your response tweet, but I digress. It has nothing to do with anything I've said, to be honest. It doesn't matter. You should be checking this yourself if you're going to be reporting on something. Regardless if your stance is to own me, as you put it, I mean, I'm just responding in kind. Obviously, you started this. I know it's a stupid, childish thing to say, but you literally did. Smiley facing me and shit. It's really weird. In a piece of content because of my lack of journalistic integrity, after deleting a tweet that existed for 20 minutes and apologising to you in a public place, then so be it. It's fine to apologise, but my issue is you could have not done it in the first place, and then would you have apologised if it wasn't for the fact that you were immediately proven wrong? It just, I don't know, man, it doesn't sit right with me because that seems fake as fuck, to be honest. And I don't want to start a whole beef. Like, I don't want my community going in and attacking him, and I just want to respond to you on my platform where I can literally show everything, as opposed to going back and forth on Twitter. Because obviously you deleted the original tweet and we were going to move on from this apparently, but you're the one who decided to start it, and now you're the one deciding you want to move away from it when you're the one who did every step along the way for us to get here. So my character has always been the type of person to admit when they...
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised? Anything around Dark and Darker is exactly going to be like this. It's a bunch of angry thievery boomers selling to a bunch of angry extraction boomers with a bunch of angry fucking non-consensual PvP boomers all fucking each other in the non-consensual PvP boomer asses. These aren't e-pilots we're talking about. It's darker than that. It's darker and darker than that. And that's where they get the name from, and that's all.
Make mistakes. If yours is to then respond in kind the way that you have, then all right, you do you. Yeah. If somebody calls me out on something, I'm going to respond with the evidence. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, man, good job. You tried to fucking wreck me for your Twitter audience. Which, by the way, I've looked at what the Dark and Darker community have said about me. I've seen them in my comments. I've seen them.
Oh no! The Dark and Dark community is mad at me. Oh no! Oh no!
I've seen them in the Discord. I've had people send me death threats. I've had people fucking harass me and join my Discord server.
And this is why I don't have a Discord server. I think these people, they're around each other for so long that they forget what normal polite society is, you know? And so I don't really go around them expecting much else than that. I don't go around expecting them anything different than that from them than that, you know? I can't believe I just farmed for an hour and then ran in on a 7-man. And ran for a really long time, and the guy caught me somehow. How did the guy catch me? I don't know. I should have just ran and ran and ran and ran and ran until he gave up. I should have just ran in fucking circles till he gave up. I don't know why that fucking guy, like, what that fucking guy's problem is. But I did really well. Got a lot done. I banked a horse. I got a whole bunch of skills. You know, I lost all the loot, but I mean, I don't care about that. I mean, I ran across the 7-man. What else was going to happen? So we go back to the station now. Go location. We're stuck.
Warp drive active.
Yeah.
Call me every name under the sun.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Over Dark and fucking Darker? You know, the game that they stole. They literally stole that game. They stole that game. They stole the game. Don't play the game. Not under that company. That company stole that game. I wish he would say it. Like, I wish he would just say it. Dark and Dorker was stolen. It was stolen, you know?
Because I have a different opinion on a video game.
Yeah, on a
what's
video
going on
game?
on the
Who
lawsuit,
the
which
fuck cares
shouldn't
about
matter.
that?
Play the video game you enjoy. Like, who gives a fuck what my opinion is?
Yeah.
If you're right and Nexon have you know, no ground to stand on, they'll win. I'll be wrong. I'll look like an idiot, and you know, whatever else. You can just play the game. That's all good. But when you tag me in this, you have to know that you are
Like
these
poking
people
the bear.
that have been doing this, which you should know if you've covered video
Sleep
games for a long
God.
time. These
God
people do
damn it.
exist. That you're essentially greenlighting here for people to start doing that shit again. Not, you know, directly.
I shouldn't have rolled into town on a prime time at on a Friday night at 5:45. I should have known what was going to happen. I don't mind. I don't care that they got my loot. I don't care about that. So, items. Let me go to fitting and change to my aura. Fit to active shit. Good. I'm dead. Why? Because the skeleton aggroed my red health? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm up, which is good. Yeah, I'm up. I'm about to level, actually, which is good. That sucked. I should have put some sushi on, maybe. That area is fairly linky. I think the crystal on the way in, I'm sorry, on the path up to the castle. Actually, the castle wouldn't be bad if there wasn't so much link, but I think my red health and, like, with all these ghosts around, it kind of sucks. Like, red health with all these ghosts around sucks. But there's no other place, really. There's Farragundi isn't full of nasty skeletons. But I think Valdunia is where it should be. Wow, it's raining really fucking thick. Nice. Yeah, I'll get new Signet. I got some loot, which is good. I mean, and some XP. It wasn't a bad run. Armamenteers probably really stacks up, actually. It's probably like 15 grand a stack or something. So it'll be worth it in the end. But they're also mages, and mages are never good to XP off of. They kick your ass. One of the things I love about Final Fantasy, like, casters in 11, 12, and 15. Not 15, excuse me. 11, 12, and yeah, just 11 and 12 is that if you let them free cast, they'll kill you. I mean, they have no limit on mana mobs in Final Fantasy games, so they'll just keep spamming Thundaga 3 over and over and over and over again, and they'll kill you. Like, not every time, but they definitely do. You have to get a silence on them. I should have paid more attention. It's my fault. But one nice things about this camp is boom, I'm there in like 3 seconds. Look, in 3 seconds I'm here and I'm ready to fight again. And I'm like, oh, tiger. Right. Oh, the wrong item in. Oh God. Yeah. Are you aggro? No, you're not aggro, but that's all right. I should definitely buy more tigers, but I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of low on money. I'll have to make sales first. I mean, I imagine I probably already made the sales I was gonna make. And I'll buff when I'm on the evil eye. I should silence him, technically. I might be able to stick a silence. Let's see. Can I stick a silence on this asshole? Because that hurt. Son of a bitch. Yeah, get a silence on him. Did I land it? I didn't. Oh god, there's an elemental on top of me. Did it aggro? No. For some reason, they might have turned off elemental aggro or something. I don't know what it is. We killed Evil Eye. You know, it never occurred to me, but putting silence on my pull macro might be a really fucker on my attack macro for my cat. Might be a really good idea. I'll aggro the elemental because I want him. The elemental. Yeah, the elemental. Yeah. I was gonna stand back here and cast silence. Wait, did you get on him? Get on him, motherfucker. What was that? Get on him. Oh, no, he is on him. He is on him. The Zaga. Run. Ah. Damn it. At least I didn't get the tiger hurt. Okay. Cast a lot of silence on him until we get it. I want you to sit down for a little while. How many meters? It's too close. I need to be out of range. Oh god, it's oh, it's a Black Mage. Nice, Invicta. The elementals are a good way to make money. So yeah, I came here to drop what I had, which I did, and now we need to change the fitting, which I believe I did. Good. We'll go look for ice. Go Salav. Okay. It's a bit of a travel, but it's worth it. Nice, this is going well. Elementals are a good fight.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Gonna change games here to Enshrouded. Enshrouded. And we're gonna change the title. Since Mortal got toxic on a Friday night, because all the angry boomers gotta treat each other like shit all the time. I am going to get on a different game and change my title. There we go. And we're gonna run Enshrouded. Enshrouded. 55.7, 9.7k done. Play, private, play.
Approaching Stargate.
How's this going? Fairly well. I'll need to reward when this regen goes off. Go run some Razor Fang on him. There's 3 Razor Fangs. Ah, performing better.
Autopilot jumping.
Looks a bit fuzzy to me. We're gonna look at the graphics again.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
It's weird. I thought I did all those, but I guess not. I can teleport to it, which just saves me time.
Approaching Stargate.
What's he casting? Blizzaga. Did we interrupt him? Yeah, we did. We interrupted him. Oh, not enough stamina. Great.
Autopilot jumping.
A nice cluster, yay. Oh god, are you aggro? No, but you might be.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Okay. Backpack full. Aw, I have to go back home, son of a bitch.
Approaching Stargate.
Can you... No. Ah. No, that needs to stay there.
Autopilot jumping.
I don't want that because I don't want to use the ammo. It's all good.
Warping to Stargate.
It's not my style of weapon.
Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Frame rate on this client's a lot better when I put it windowed. It's fucking awesome. Wait, did I leave because I didn't want to? Damn it.
Approaching Stargate.
Whoa. Never had an attack on my camp before.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Wow. That hurt me, though.
Approaching Stargate.
I guess I could go to Fei Yin. It's a long fucking walk. I think I would prefer to be in the glacier than here. But these things are, well, like, these are level 46. I think, oh, maybe, Sleep God again. Son of a bitch. Don't kill my tiger.
Autopilot jumping.
Oh, well.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Oh, I have to summon the alchemist. Yeah, I suppose that would give me more XP. I don't care about that though, frankly.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
I mean, I suppose I could climb that thing. I think they want me to. It might not be very big.
Approaching Stargate.
That's all that's in here?
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Wow, window was way better frame rate. Frames are better on this too.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Wait, did something just die? Yeah, I think it did. That's funny.
Increased.
Oh my god, that's so many mobs. Get out. That was a long journey. Yeah, I like this game, but it's frankly sort of boring me. And I'm gonna go play a different game that it reminds me of. Elden Ring, I think. Or, well, technically I should work on New World, but I don't know. Sometimes that endless grind.
But that is going to be the outcome, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just how people work. Fans are fucking weird, and the fans of this game already don't like me. I already know that's going to happen. I know if you'd left that tweet up, it was going to happen. I know that there's going to be people talking shit about me in Discord servers and Reddit threads, and people are going to be sliding into my DMs and sending me just unhinged shit for just no reason. And you brought this up apropos of literally nothing. Not just like... It's not even like we had some beef. There was nothing there on my end. So yeah, of course, like you can apologize after the fact, but that's not my issue. My issue is that you did this to begin with, and then you even had the opportunity to reflect on that, but you repeatedly in multiple tweets came back at me and continued talking shit about somebody you've never spoken to ever. It's just not on, man. It's just really fucking weird. I should have handled it differently, and I didn't. Other than that, I have no idea what exactly you're looking for here, other than to continue to grind away on a subject that should have been done 4 tweets ago. It should have been done ever. It shouldn't have existed, but it did. So there we go. Random internet fucking drama over literally nothing. Just read, man. Just when something comes out, I understand, like, my cats are going absolutely fucking crazy. I understand that you're on one side. I don't think that this is how it should be if you're trying to report things. You know, maybe you don't call yourself a journalist, but that's what you're doing. If you're trying to report things, report both sides. Like I have done in all my things. I have said my opinion is this, and this is what these people are saying, and why I disagree with it, and blah blah blah. But if you're going to do it, report both sides. Like, don't be speaking to Iron Mace employees for information. Don't be getting information from people that are fucking involved in the thing, that have a reason to mislead you, or like go to actual sources, not the fucking words of the company that are involved in a lawsuit. And don't be calling out content creators for no reason. You could have DM'd me and said, have you seen this? All of this would have been completely avoided. You could have just read the thing. But yeah, there we go, I guess. That's just the random stuff that happens, I guess. I'll go back to, you know, chilling out, enjoying my evening now. But I'm sure this won't be the end of it. I'm sure his audience will clap back or whatever, or, you know, the Dark and Darker fans will tell me I'm lying, or that I can't read, or whatever it's going to be this time. But yeah, thanks for watching as always. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll continue covering the Dark and Darker thing. I fell off the map with it a little bit because I just, you know, stopped making second channel content for a bit, just burned out on whatever else. But I will continue looking into this and posting information. But apparently I do need to do it, otherwise you're just going to be getting one side of information. So thanks for watching. See you next time, I guess. Peace.
For the past couple episodes, we've been covering drugs and homelessness, particularly focused on providing a historical analysis of how many of America's current open-air drug markets came to be. But what about the flip side of the coin? What doesn't get much coverage is places where all drugs, or even the consumption of alcohol, are outlawed, and prohibition is militantly enforced by a standing army of beach cops. Many of you, especially Philadelphians of Irish and Italian descent, may be aware of the gorgeous beach town of Ocean City, New Jersey, an all-American summer vacation town, which sports the #1 lowest crime rate in America. And it's been this way for over 100 years. Ocean City is the only town on the Jersey Shore that's refused to lift the ban on alcohol, even after Prohibition ended in 1933. So directly after filming in Philadelphia, we decided to drive to Ocean City, aka Reverse Kensington, to do some interviews and figure out what it's like to exist in a space where everything is prohibited. I wasn't quite sure who to talk to, but my grandparents asked me if I could babysit my 3 little cousins, so I figured I'd start with them.
What do you guys want to do today?
Let's go to Hoy's.
Trampoline
Go to
park.
Hoy's.
What's Hoy's?
It's a toy store, idiot.
What do you guys want to buy there?
Idiot, that's aggressive.
I'm sorry.
How do you guys feel about Ocean City banning alcohol?
I mean, that's my favorite, so it's tough.
That's your favorite?
Do you guys feel like you're missing out on some of the nightlife, being that you can't go out to bars here and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go.
Okay. So you guys have never drank before, right?
I drank.
I drank.
A Red Bull, I was drinking.
And I
and
threw up that night.
You drank a Red Bull, Sean?
yeah, once at my friend's house.
How'd it make you feel?
I don't know.
You guys know that like this is the only town on the whole Jersey Shore where you can't go to a bar?
I'm peeing on that car.
What's up with that?
So we can get anything we want?
Yeah, whatever you want. Just don't get lost.
I'll take all these. Oh, can you give me AirPods?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, great.
Believe it or not. Are you actually?
Yeah, whatever you guys want to get.
Are you actually gonna get
Ooh,
Yeah, whatever.
whatever I want.
Anything you want.
This is why you're my favorite cousin.
Thanks. Before we check out though, I gotta do a monologue about Prohibition.
Yeah, and
Prohibition. In 1919, America made alcohol illegal nationwide.
I don't really care about this.
I don't care.
To be honest.
Let's go.
I don't really care about this.
I don't even know what to get. All this stuff's for kids. I need a beer. I'm just kidding. I'm not getting a puzzle. I don't have that kind of attention
You don't
span.
like puzzles?
No.
Neither
I
do
don't have
I.
the time.
Yeah, he's famous, Stevie. Think better for him. Look at that receipt.
It's all worth it for family. You guys
Eat
help me
it.
carry some of this stuff?
I got you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Yeah. I will.
I hope you guys enjoy the $500.
After leaving Hoy's, I felt conflicted. On one hand, it was nice to treat my cousins to a fantastic afternoon. But on the other hand, they didn't know much about the history of Ocean City. Obviously. So I decided to drive to the boardwalk in the epicenter of town to start this report all over.
It's Ocean City, New Jersey, a coastal resort full of Philadelphia families, once called the happiest place in America. And I can be a personal witness. I've been coming to Ocean City since the year I was born, and it's been the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. It's been freaking awesome.
No, but seriously, from the hermit crabs, to the caramel corn, to soft-serve Core Brothers ice cream, which always has the right amount of jimmies,
To the amazing t-shirts they have for sale at a low price. Ocean City's the best. But now that I'm an adult looking back, you know what I realized? I've never ever seen anyone getting drunk in Ocean City in my entire life. And you know why?
this place was founded with one rule. You can't be drinking. To get a better understanding of why Ocean City enacted this prohibition policy, I decided to catch up with Ocean City town historian Mr. Bill to get some answers.
This is Ocean City, New Jersey, a historically dry town. It remains that way to this very day. The motto of the town, which was done in the early 1900s, is America's greatest Christian family resort. And the fact that they are dry it gives it an atmosphere where families feel comfortable to come and vacation here.
To learn more about the history of Ocean City, New Jersey, I decided to go to Uncle Bill's Pancake House to meet up with my grandma, aka Mama, who's been taking me to Uncle Bill's since I was a little kid. She told me that Ocean City's roots as a dry town came as a result of rampant alcoholism in the 1800s, which inspired something called the temperance movement, a coalition of Methodist women who encouraged people
And
to drink
suffrage
less.
as well.
In the mid-1800s, drinking seemed to kick up in this country. Alcohol was mass-produced.
when all the rich bastards fucked us over, started fucking us over, we were like, well, at least we can be drunk most of the time. But then when we got drunk, we started beating our wives for some reason. I don't know why I never did that, but I mean, like, Americans, men did that.
It was cheap, and it was getting stronger. And women didn't go into bars. So it was just the men who were doing this, and the women felt it was creating an atmosphere of domestic violence, of poverty, and death. So they banded together to really educate the country on the dangers of alcohol. This is pre-Alcoholics Anonymous. When women didn't vote, but the women were the driving force behind educating everybody of the dangers of alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, they even took it further with that Carrie Nation and her hatchet. She used to go in and knock down saloons and stuff.
Like barrels.
Between 1900 and 1910, Carrie Nation is arrested more than 30 times. But it doesn't dissuade her from what she sees as a divine calling.
She would start chopping up bar rooms, chopping up the beer barrels.
And drugstores, because pharmacies would sell medications that were laced with alcohol. So it was almost out, can I get my drink there? You know, I'm going to get my drink here. And suffragists would go in and hatchet up the bars.
The husbands must have been really pissed off.
I would think.
Just imagine, it's 1905 and you've been working your ass off all day at the shoe cobbler depot, paper mill, or tire factory just to finally unwind with the boys and knock back a couple cold ones at the local saloon. Seemingly from out of nowhere, your wife and all of your homies' wives kick open the doors, spaghetti western outlaw style, and rush into the bar like a SWAT team, all wielding hatchets and screaming at the top of their lungs. The terrified bartender, who's been indoctrinated by a rigid honor code, watches in disbelief as they all vault over the bar top and destroy his entire inventory, hatcheting dozens of whiskey bottles as glass shards fly around the room, and they shriek like a pack of wild hyenas.
The men just stood there by the side and just watched her, because it was considered ungentlemanly for them to fight back against a woman.
Once every last bottle, flask, and shot glass has been reduced to a pile of glass and rubble, your wife approaches you and grabs you by the arm, leaving you with a final message. Get in the car. We're going to Ocean City. That was a reality in 1905.
Yeah. You would have thought that women would have gone for the vote first and then the power to change this, but when your family's being impacted, maybe that's not how you think. Let's just get this changed now. And this is my day-to-day living, because the family was dependent on the man's income. And if he's spending his income on alcohol and staying away from the family in bars, that's got to impact how that family develops. And the examples that it set for the males in that family, that this was an okay behavior, and then that impacts the paycheck. And
oh, look, it's running well.
You know, so it's really
good.
basic things that you need: a roof over your head, food on your table, and here's a man who's had so much alcohol he cannot perform.
Upon further investigation, I was shocked. I had no idea how much people actually drank in the late 1800s. In 1830, the average American drank 7.1 gallons of beer and alcohol every year. That's about 5 beers.
I just dropped 35,000 souls
By
on the
1910, that number actually dipped down dramatically to only 1.5 beers per day on average. Still, Congress felt that American society was being besieged by alcohol and problems such as family violence and saloon-based political corruption. Many of these congressmen's wives were members of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, the same one that founded Ocean City. And so in 1919, Congress passed the 68% so prohibition for 15 years, it was nearly impossible to make beer, right? No, the market only went underground to speakeasies. It was a lucrative business that organized criminals quickly monopolized. Among the many gangsters who achieved legendary status in the speakeasy scene was Alldayerrydaybaby in Chicago, who is believed to have amassed a $100 million fortune just from bootlegging and running speakeasies. This is justification for bootlegging.
It's been a while. Oh, it's so loud. I'm sorry, I'll fix it.
Prohibition was an unjust law, and I still do.
Though Capone saw himself as a Robin Hood-style freedom fighter, he ruled the underworld with an iron fist. It was his men that were believed to be behind the bloody Valentine's Day massacre of 1929, in which 7 rival bootleggers were shot execution-style by men posing as police officers. Needless to say, organized crime perspective,
yeah, it's been a long time. I don't even remember how to switch. I want to go get my souls off the ground.
Cartel is almost synonymously associated with evil, but they both began as opportunistic groups of mostly immigrants who looked to America for a better life and found fortune. Needless to say, prohibition
how to heal at all. I don't remember how to do it or what my keys are or anything at all. Oh god.
And so, a man named Franklin D. Roosevelt
Oh god, run. I don't remember how to heal. I really need to remember. I do not.
President Roosevelt won the popular vote in every state except for Maine and on March 22nd, 1933, FDR signed the Beer and Wine.
Come on, man. Go.
That shall not exceed a concentration of 3.5.
Why can't I mount up? I don't remember what my buttons are.
After its 13-year absence.
Yeah, go back, motherfucker.
Since 1933, the American consumption of alcohol and the concentration of alcohol found in commonly sold alcoholic beverages are on a steady increase, and the taxes placed on liquor, beer, and wine are one of the largest contributors to the U.S. government's federal revenue streams. It's estimated that in 2022, revenue from alcohol tax in the United States amounted to $10.2 billion US, and alcohol-related advertising has permeated all facets of society, from sports
so loud
to music. To higher education and beyond. Because we've spent quite a few of the past episodes discussing the adverse effects and deaths associated with drugs like fentanyl and tranq, I think it's important to mention that in 2023, alcohol killed more Americans than all illicit drugs combined. Last year alone, over 136,000 Americans died from alcohol-related deaths, whether it be physical poisoning, vehicular crashes, or something else. And more than 6% of American adults self-reported as alcoholics. In the state of Wisconsin, actually, it's reported that over 17% of adult males are alcoholics.
National statistics show that on average, Wisconsinites have 634 drinks per year. That's nearly 150 extra drinks than the national average.
It's safe to say that excessive alcohol use has taken a huge toll on our society and hurt our economy to the tune of billions, in terms of loss in workplace productivity, healthcare expenses, property damage, and of course, criminal justice expenses. Yet, we're programmed to treat binge drinking with a totally separate moral lens than, say, tranq injecting, which is strange because alcohol does far more collective damage. In fact, the moral compass is actually sort of reversed. For example, oftentimes when you see someone die from an illicit drug like fentanyl, heroin, or cocaine, or something that's federally illegal, people often blame the user. Oh, you knew what you were getting into. You shouldn't have injected or smoked that.
Just stupidity. What would I do if someone offered me these drugs? I'd tell them to take a hike.
However, when it's alcohol and someone dies from an accidental alcohol poisoning or something like that, the common response is, what a tragedy. That person drank way too much. Never do people really consider the person to be stupid or just weak-willed for trying alcohol. And you don't hear much discourse criticizing alcohol as a substance or calling for the government to intervene and stop the flow of alcohol into the United States. Maybe because we all know it would be useless. Our collective experience during Prohibition has left Americans with an implicit understanding that Prohibition does nothing to stop Americans' desire to drink alcohol. And so in contemporary conversations surrounding alcohol abuse, you don't ever hear people blaming individual cogs in the supply chain, like the cashier that works at the liquor store, or the United States federal government for incentivizing the advertisement of alcohol products to collect tax revenue, as being the cause of alcohol abuse. Perhaps we are indoctrinated consumers, or maybe we've learned over time that alcohol just isn't as harmful to the average person as, say, heroin or cocaine. I don't have the answers, but I do have a lot of questions. And to be clear, I'm not advocating for the prohibition of alcohol. I just think it's interesting to examine the societal biases that we have toward drugs that are taxed, regulated, and promoted by corporations versus drugs that are federally illegal and sold on the black market. Anyways, with all this in mind, I think it's great that places like Ocean City exist. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, is better than family.
I think it helps to promote it as a family town, and it's been that way since the town was established. So there have been referendums to try to make it not a dry town, but they're usually overwhelmingly defeated.
I voted against it.
Ocean City resident Bob Hutchinson thinks an ordinance permitting BYOB service in Ocean City restaurants will ruin the town.
There's this town called Jersey Shore.
I have a question.
And I don't want schnookies here.
Where's the beach? Let's go.
is being a nuisance.
People like the consistency of knowing that it's dry when they get there.
When did you first come to Ocean City?
I've been coming here, I lived here as a child. I went to elementary school and then moved away and have come back 50 years with the family. So that they know no matter where they are, whether it's Seattle or California or Miami, they come to Ocean City for 1 week in the summer and we all get together. And now it's 2 weeks and this year was a month. So,
how do you think that the town would look different if there was like bars and taverns?
I can't even picture it. It hasn't been that way ever. It would be, and it's not that you can't get a drink. I mean, you can leave the island and go anywhere you want and still get the seashore atmosphere, but I can't picture the town with bars or too many years of coming here the same.
My mom mentioned that off the island, it was a totally different world, and I knew from personal experience that she was right. The night before our breakfast at Uncle Bill's, I did some undercover research in nearby towns to see what the heck was going on. First, I began in Atlantic City, only about 15 miles north of Ocean City. It was so shit there. Not only were the casinos full of sad, hungry gamblers, but a homeless woman called me a honky. My first time being called such a thing. No, but in all seriousness, Atlantic City was a mess of decaying
it's true.
abandoned storefronts, liquor stores, sex shops, and bars. After Atlantic City, I went down to Sea Isle
I
City
still
to the
don't
south,
know.
to a bar called Shenanigans, and once again, pure and sheer degeneracy. 20-year-old Americans with fake IDs, grinding, to the voice of Lil Yachty rapping the chorus to the song Broccoli, one of the worst songs ever created.
Oh my god.
And outside, I witnessed a fist fight between a pair of fathers and their sons.
Dumb motherfucker.
That's right, two dads fighting each other and their sons duking it out simultaneously.
You're not gonna say sorry.
I'm working security, I'm just making sure everything's good. It was horrifying. By the time I got back to Ocean City, I was so relieved. And for once I understood what the temperance movement was all about.
Yeah, I think it's simple. They saw families destroyed or
I don't understand what my keybinds
through
are
abuse of
anymore.
alcohol, and
Oh no.
They wanted to create a system that precluded that from occurring.
Still, I was conflicted. Sure, Ocean City is a peaceful and quiet family town, but everywhere you look, there's police officers, surveillance cameras, and the feds constantly breathing down your neck and checking your cup, smelling your cup to see what's in there. Is that
really?
freedom? I'm not sure, but one thing's for certain.
As we learned in Ocean City, many Americans live in a constant state of surveillance and online privacy infringement. And to be frank, I'm sick of it. That's why I use NordVPN, a VPN service that allows me to surf the web a little bit more incognito without Big Brother breathing down my neck and trying to figure out my IP address. But it's not just me. I've also suggested NordVPN to friends of mine who live in faraway foreign places like Tokyo and Estonia as a way to potentially watch my movie This Place Rules from their home country. You see, This Place Rules is available exclusively on American streaming services, particularly Max. So if you're not in the US of A, you're SOL, buddy. But with NordVPN, you can be an American in the online sense from anywhere on Earth. How about that? NordVPN, boom, you're in there. However, NordVPN does cost money, as it should. It's the best in the business. But I can make it cheaper for you. Go to www.nordvpn.com/channel5. That way, you can sign up with a huge discount and also 4 free additional months. That's a third of a year for free because of us. NordVPN, boom, you're in there. I can connect up to 6 devices on one account. Boom, you're in there. Go to nordvpn.com/channel5. All right, chat, back to the beach.
I started to wonder how dry Ocean City really was, and found a disturbing news article that cited 2022 data from the New Jersey Department of Public Health, suggesting that Ocean City, New Jersey was actually the most drunk town in the state. 23.3% of adults in Ocean City self-reported as alcoholics. I couldn't believe it. Temperance my ass. It seemed that beneath the veil of a Methodist utopia existed a sprawling underground world of booze, beer, and beyond. I quickly became struck with a new journalistic mission to uncover the secret world of drinking and America's greatest Christian family resort. I began to peruse the boardwalk in search of an oracle who would bestow me with the truth. First, I spoke to some tweenagers, but they wouldn't tell me a goddamn thing, which makes sense given that I'm approaching narc age.
Do you guys like drink and stuff like that?
No, I've never. I don't know.
How old are you guys?
13.
Do any of your friends drink alcohol?
No, none of us, because we're just not like that. Like, it's too young anyway.
These budding alcoholics were obviously withholding information from me, so I decided to switch to a more relatable subject.
Do you guys fuck with rap music?
Yeah. You know, I like Kanye.
What do you think about Kanye?
I think Kanye's amazing. I think all he says is right.
Like what?
Everything.
I see good things about Hitler also.
I like Kanye, okay? Shout out King Von. R.I.P. R.I.P. It's crazy. I thought he was lying in his music. Apparently everything was real.
Every time they see me, I'm on go. In my lungs. I say that every time 'cause he got smoke.
He's like the only rapper who actually like does it.
What would you say if King Von was here today?
I don't really want to mess with him. That would be crazy. But he's dead.
What did you guys think about the Capitol riot?
What is that?
I feared that perhaps I was getting genuinely too old to have a conversation with 13-year-olds, so I decided to move on. I stumbled across an older gentleman on the boardwalk, sitting alone as if waiting to be interviewed, who once again propagandized me with the myth that Ocean City is a dry town.
It does lend itself towards more of a family-friendly atmosphere, Methodist enclave. So that being said, things might get out of control if you add alcohol, and then of course the families don't want to be involved in that. I'm old enough to, college breaks, we'd go to Daytona.
Nothing better than Daytona Bike Week at the Cackaberry Campground. Do you have any special talents? Hey, rubbing her, making her feel good.
Which was a lot of fun, and it was a very long time ago, but things did after a while get out of control, especially at night.
Fucking love it. Come here for 11 years. 11 goddamn years.
And then if enough people get inebriated at the same time, there can be a lot of civic damage and a lot of consequences that nobody initially planned for.
Civic damage? I know a paid actor when I see one. I began to feel like my mission was a lost cause. Then, in the 11th hour, I spotted a young shirtless teenager, possibly 18 or 19, drinking actively. He said he was drinking Don Q.
Don Q? Oh yeah.
But still wouldn't tell me where he got it from.
It's a family town. You don't come here to drink unless you live here, but
You do drink here?
all the time, yeah. For years we've been coming here and getting shittered, and you gotta do it all secretive. You gotta, I don't know, you can't really have any fun. If you wanna go have fun, you gotta go somewhere else. Fuck Ocean City.
After interview upon interview with locals who proclaimed that Ocean City, New Jersey was some type of sober safe haven, I began to feel like I was being propagandized, North Korea tour guide style, by controlled mouthpieces of the temperance movement, who were attempting to generate positive PR for the town. At the end of my wits, I saw a shoeless, shirtless, draft dodger-looking type of guy sitting at the men's bathroom on the boardwalk. So I decided to sit down, crisscross applesauce, and talk to him. He seemed like a straight shooter, a philosophical man, one who doesn't beat around the bush, but cut straight to the point.
How do you feel about Ocean City being a dry town?
Well, they have a very large liquor store right across the bridge in the other town.
Directly across from Ocean City.
Right, which would probably point to the fact that if people aren't allowed to drink, then they'll find other ways of doing it.
So you feel like this prohibition thing is maybe just a smokescreen?
A smokescreen for what?
An underground drinking empire.
Not necessarily. My point is that regardless of what the law says, if people are dead set on doing something, then typically they'll find a way to do it. It's good to respect the law to a certain point, but at the same time, laws are more of a representation of where the people are at in terms of their consciousness. And someone that refrains from drinking could be doing so for a good purpose. So it could be representing something good. But conversely,
Ah,
if someone
okay, I couldn't
wants to
remember.
oppress other people
I was like,
and
Jesus.
force them into adopting their beliefs, then it could be negative. So even the interpretation of a law can be based on the person's perspective, and it can be good in the same way that the
It's been so long.
It's all about the individual.
I
If
couldn't
people
remember.
want to find a way to do something, typically they'll be able to do it. So it's not that prohibiting something makes it more attractive. It's that people are gonna do what is in their intention regardless of what the law is for the most part. So it's not necessary to be too up in arms about whether a law is good or bad. It's more just about recognizing where the vibe is, where you want to be, and to try to gravitate towards something positive.
Respect. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you. I really appreciated this gentleman's honesty, but still, I felt like he was hiding something. I began to think back into the 1950s and 1960s, when all the songs were about the shore and the boardwalk, and then I remembered a specific song, Under the Boardwalk, and that's exactly where I found my first clue.
4.5% alcohol, vodka lemonade, right here under the boardwalk. Dry town my ass. Fucking look at this.
In our next episode, Ocean City Nights, will attempt to infiltrate the secret world of binge drinking in Ocean City, first beginning across the bridge at Super Liquors, then going to the Ocean City Boardwalk at 9:30 p.m.
My name's Andrew Callahan, and you're watching Party Pooper.
What are you doing?
Are you drinking beer? Oh, fuck, we got one right here. We got a live teenager right here. He's coming down here to drink beer.
He's got lemonade and vodka in there. Take that shit out of town. You guys fuck with King Von?
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, man! Let's go! I came out of this bitch!
To get an early look at our episode, Ocean City Nights, go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/channel5.
Oh god, the keybinds were bad. I have forgotten.
We are completely independent and crowdfunded 100% by your monthly contributions. Thanks so much.
Channel 5 Live Worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority. Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. 5 is the best number.
Okay, I'm really excited. We have 3 big announcements to make. I'm so excited, I don't know which announcement to start with. But let's start with the first announcement. Channel 5 is now hiring. That's right, we're looking for new correspondents. And maybe, just maybe, it can be you. But I gotta tell you, our application process is a bit unorthodox. In an ideal world, we just would put an email, you can just email your resume to that email address. But because we don't have the bandwidth to deal with an infinite inbox full of resume bombers, we're gonna give a specific task to you, or kind of like a challenge. So you have about 21 days from now until February 10th to create a 5-minute, 55-second about a mystery person, character, or issue in your community. Once it's done, take it, put it on YouTube as an unlisted link, and submit it to www.channel5.news.
Come on, come on.
After the February 10th deadline, we're going to take 10 of our favorite documentaries, we're going to broadcast them to our entire audience, and allow the public to vote on which one is their favorite. Bear in mind, the winner of the public vote doesn't necessarily get hired, but it'll give us a better understanding of which documentaries resonated. In terms of like a salary for a starting position, we haven't actually arrived at a specific
I missed
number.
most of this video. I shouldn't have had it running. Okay, now that I've refreshed keybinds, I want to go get those souls off the ground because that's a lot of souls. But yeah. Why won't you roll? Why won't you roll? Roll! Why won't you roll? Why are you taking that long to roll? Okay. Ooh, I am out of fucking practice. It's been years. Jesus. Fucking roll. I was like, why are you taking that long to roll? What? I mean, it's kind of slow. Like, what? Ah. he dropped 2K souls, which is cool. He was a motherfucker. I love this character. I forgot all about her. I might redo my key bindings and do a new character, I think. Yeah. Music's good. I think I'll start over. But yeah, I remember now how to play the game, which is good. So now I guess that's good. We saved, right? I think so. And then let's go to return to desktop. Yeah, Black Knife Catacombs. Yeah. So did you quit to desktop? You did. Oh well, that's okay. Go back in. Stick to the structure.
Warp drive active.
Okay, we play Elden Ring for a little while, because that stupid game Enshrouded just makes me want to play Elden Ring. It sucks. I know it's a better game. Where did FFXI go? I think it crashed. That sucks. We'll load that again, I guess. But the good news is FFXI is running really well, which is good.
Docking request accepted.
Elden Ring, FFXI, Horizon. Man, it took me so long to remember the fucking controls even. But I can play the game. That's like New Game Plus for me or whatever. Yeah. Impress. No, stop. Stop that. New game. Nice. This will be very fun. I watched a video recently. I'll watch again.
First, let's pick Astrologer for our starting class. It by far has the best stat distribution for a pure intelligence casting build, which is what we're going for. Some people might suggest Prisoner because it has a better starting spell, but I'll explain why that doesn't matter in a minute. Next, we just dive to the tutorial boss, arrive in Limgrave, kick this guy for being a dick, and then run over to the site of Grace to unlock leveling and our horse. From here, we're going to ride south and pick up the Morning Star from this broken carriage. This is the earliest bleed weapon in the game, and luckily we have enough stats to use it if we two-hand it. We also want to get one gold pickled foul foot. and an easy one to get is right here on the beach near the start, past this merchant. With these 2 items, we just need to get to Caled, and the fastest way to do that is through this teleporter in the bushes next to the Third Church of America. We'll pop up here, and then head south. You can go around this dragon if you want, but you can also just be brave and run between its legs. Right ahead is Fort Faroth, and next to the site of grace here is a giant screaming dragon. This is the reason we're here. It'll take a couple minutes, but we can kill this guy safely using the bleed from the Morningstar, because bleed does a flat percentage of damage every time it procs, and in this case it means we'll do approximately 13,000 damage.
I'm not doing any of this. I'm just gonna play the game. I'm not playing this game like anybody else. I'm not doing that. Let's go see if anybody has an opinion about this, though, which is what I originally came for on that. It's like Elden Ring, Astro Logan, Best Keepsake. Golden Seed. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, it would be Mana Flasks. Yeah, so Golden Seed. I thought so. I was just verifying. Difference, like a little bit of length. Oh, it looks fucking weird. Blah, blah. Eye patch. That does look dope, though. That does look dope, though, I gotta say. Yeah, flip it. I want to flip it. Wait, you can flip it around? That's awesome. There, that's perfect. There it is. There, she looks dope as fuck. I like her dress. Yeah, it's good. I like her dress. Yeah. Cool. New Elden Ring character. Yay. So while you do this, I gotta go back and make sure that I'm mining. Oh, the entire thing is gone, huh? Oh no, I guess I didn't go back to the site is what it is.
Warp drive active.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home.
BRB.
Across the fog. The lands between. Is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost race speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And one other, whom grace would again bless. A tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring. And become the Elden Lord.
ring. That's the pre-order remote, which is so cool. Oh, I love this game. So, now, why aren't these sorted by distance? Oh my god. Okay, so good. Why would she have a shield in the other hand? That's silly. I mean, hey. Oh no. What happened there? Damn it. Damn it. Wait, why can't I see my launcher? There. Wow, it's running way better in Windows. That's so weird. Stupid skeleton. Now, first thing I want to worry about here is sound. Let's turn the master all the way up and the music to like 3. Yeah, the sound effects to there and that. Well, probably like that and that. Yep. Next comes the... Yeah, it looks really good. Very optimized and very well done. The Japanese don't fuck around. Okay. Wow. Very fun. I'm glad I did this. Man, it's better. It's better than Bloodborne, definitely. Itchy. Oh no. Oh no, how many mobs do I have? Come on, man. Why do I have 3 mobs? That is ridic. Ridic. Why won't you attack? You won't attack him. Get on him. Get on him. Get on him. Get on him. Oh my god. I'm dead. It's okay. Why do I have 3 mobs? That's ridiculous. I was way the fuck over here. I ran so far over here and I was like, oh good, I'm about 150 yards from the closest mobs. And I look up and there's 3 of them on me. Why? Why would it be like that? No, I'm not even going to be able to kill this in time. It's fine. I'll just die. It's fine. Whatever. Stupid fucking game. Get him off me and it might be better. Come on, reward. Nope. Nope, I'm dead. Nope. It's over. That's okay. Yep. I don't know why suddenly 3 mobs were in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere. Maybe like a good 35-second run to the next mob. I don't know why they came to me while I was alt-tapped. But okay, you can say they came over to me. You could say that happened, but I don't believe it. I don't really believe that happened. God damn it. Nice thing about this is the camp's like right here. My main problem with dying is that you have to run back. Here is like a fucking 30-second run back, and that's totally fine by me. I actually don't mind it. Ah, right back where I started though. Want to go somewhere where there's not as much Link. Like fucking Link all the time. Like right here. I'd rather just fight here and get used to fighting here, you know? I'm gonna familiar this one. Actually, before I pull, I'm just gonna go buff. Master's too loud. Oh god. Oh, the sound effects. Games are never balanced. It drives me crazy.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side. We found her here after all.
Don't worry, Torrent.
One of her kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Master's too high. Drop it to like 3, 5? Like 5. Half that. Oh yeah, I remember you come back to here way, way later. That's cool that you can block while you're using the shield. Or the, I'm sorry, the staff. She looks awesome.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring, hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me, Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace, the golden light that gives life to you tarnished? You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh, come on. One shots. Even this game, one shot. If I ever take a hit anymore, I'm dead. If I take a hit in any game, I'm dead. Oh, damn it. I could have got credit for this, too. Son of a bitch. It's alright. I don't want to farm souls with them. I want to summon people to kill the boss for me. I thought I had potions, but I don't. And like, god damn it. I'm going to put my sign down. I didn't realize how this worked. It's like 3, 4, it's 4 to switch. 4 to switch for... I could have just kept casting and stuff. It helped them. I'm going to put my summoning sign down. Damn it. No, I don't want to get a bunch of souls at the start of the game. That's cheating. Like, I want to be able to summon 2 people to help me kill this boss. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know what the controls were, and it kind of screwed that whole thing. Now I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Can't hit, huh? God damn it. It's like a fucking centimeter. Oh, this is so fun. I'm actually glad I did this. Wait, like finishing a thing gives you flasks? Oh, okay. God, it's been so long. I'm rusty. Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. It really did not look like there was a little 5-foot pit right there. Oh my god. That is so deceptive. Hey, it's a smithing stone. Nice. Oh, I love this. I'm glad I did this. Damn, this one's done suddenly.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted. Autopilot engaged.
Sure, it'll be super fair. And just so you don't feel like you're being incentivized for no reason, for all the 10 documentaries
Moving
you
to
choose to
Stargate.
feature, we will give you
Warp drive
100%.
active.
Guys and gals, me Mutahar, and it's been 7 days since I covered a pretty wild story on YouTube, one that involved another content creator known as Mama Max. Now, since then, it's been quite an explosive, trending topic, with multiple videos coming out on the daily, many even from channels that I am very good friends with, channels like Oopaville, Let's Talk It. A lot of content creators, even some that I've worked with on this project, have made follow-up pieces regarding this situation.
Approaching
Now, for those of
Stargate.
you who don't know and haven't watched the previous video that I made, this is a story about how a YouTube content creator known as Mama Max, who is typically known for his very artsy YouTube projects, has actually been known very recently for producing content where he hunts questionable people on the internet and apparently brings them to justice. It's come out that none of his actual investigations appear to have any form of reality to them, and that some of the people that he claims to have arrested have never actually been arrested. This is a situation where a content creator partakes in producing content that is all about taking down some of the most evil people in society. And unfortunately, those evil people, whether it be for this person's content and their sake for entertainment value, none of this stuff appears to be real. And the people behind this that we thought were arrested, for the longest time, I gave the benefit of the doubt, weren't actually done arrested. So I wanted to follow up on this situation because a lot of things have happened, okay? So I guess for today's video, we're kind of going to go through piece by piece by piece by piece by piece and call it a day. So another quick summary for anybody who's following this. Mama Max produced a series of videos which have since been removed where he started to cover a vampire werewolf cult, okay? Now, when he produced his vampire werewolf cult, it was basically encompassed in a group of videos where he talked about artificial intelligence, misinformation, cult dynamics, how influencers like me and your favorite content creator are actually cult leaders in of themselves, or at least exhibit cult leader-like mentalities. But ultimately, in the end of this, he pinned some very serious allegations on a private individual known as Cade, and he alleged that this person was a human trafficker, violent sex cult leader, and a werewolf cult leader at that, and effectively there were hundreds upon hundreds of minors that were victimized. Unfortunately, this whole situation blew up in Max's face because he failed to provide adequate evidence and instead decided that he was going to pressure a lot of his former friends like me and other content creators into pushing this topic to the average audience and basically signing on these allegations with him. Now, after extensive research from everyone's end, it turns out that the situation is not as hard-hitting, at least as Max has presented so far. Since then, tons of people have gotten involved, entire leaks have occurred, and this situation so far remains unresolved. Now, Max has done one thing that I can actually respect in this situation, which is staying completely quiet, and at least for now, and making sure that law enforcement is getting involved in this situation of him basically leading the charge on hunting down who he believes to be a bad individual should face some police justice.
What's this?
And whether justice will be faced, whether Max has tainted this case beyond belief, is yet to basically be known, all right? But this is the kind of situation that we're actually sitting at. It's a wild, wild situation, but again, that's a quick summarization of it. If you want to know more, you can watch my video, you can watch Nicholas Diorio's video, you can watch videos from Oompaville, who has covered this topic as well. But again, let's go into a few more things. Since then, Max actually made a video where he responded on privately with his Patreon, where again, he quadrupled, octupled down onto this situation and claimed that powerful forces were shutting him down. Now, I don't know how powerful of a force I am, but no one is claiming to shut Max down. If anything, his channel is still active, but he has since removed those allegation videos regarding this vampire situation. The only thing, as far as my recording right now, is him keeping a few shorts still up. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you, when you're alleging serious claims against somebody, especially if they're private, before you catch a massive defamation lawsuit on your hands, or worse, ruin an actual case where there could have been some really nefarious things going on, you gotta make sure the evidence you present is solid, corroborative, and paints a proper story. Max failed to do any of that. And because of this, because of his public persona, he's dragged a lot of private individuals into the public eye, and this is entirely his fault. Now, since then, there have been a few things that have come out that I wanted to address. For instance, this post I saw, which shortly after the video that I produced had come out, where Max, in a private evidence Discord server, which has since, from my understanding, been deleted because it was leaked by Max failing to have proper OPSEC and letting anybody jump in by socially engineering themselves. In this, he types, "At everyone, Spencer and I," Spencer being his lead witness in this vampire sex cult case, "are considering a class action lawsuit against Mutahar for breaching our non-disclosure agreement, inciting harassment on live streams, defamation, and causing emotional distress. He's extremely rich, so the lawsuit seeks $1 million in damages to be distributed between all of you." Now, when I first read this, most people would think that I would do the laugh like, but I did not laugh. This is a former friend of mine, and honestly, this is probably one of the most painful things for me to read, because this is somebody that I sat down, had a drink with, had a talk to, gave a heart-to-heart to, and now, within 24 hours, I basically realized that this person...
What was that? You one-shot me for 200 damage! Oh my god!
Because to me, all this appears is all I ever was to this man was an extremely rich friend who had enough social media clout for him to piggyback his stupid case.
Too much link. I'm right exactly to the point where I just started.
One of the worst, like,
wow,
internet betrayals
too much
I ever
link
had.
all the time.
It's the one thing that has pushed me severely away from everybody on YouTube in the last week or two. I really feel like I have no friends on this platform. And I know that's dramatic of me to say, but reading this kind of stuff is just incredibly painful. You have to be in this personal situation to see this. Now, when I read this, I actually did confer with my lawyers, and what's funny is when we talk about the non-disclosure agreement, there was no, like, solid non-disclosure agreement, at least one that was notarized by legal parties. So my lawyer said that I have really nothing to worry about. And when it comes to inciting harassment, defamation, and causing emotional distress, I would say that I have been very cordial, nice as I can be, reasonably, in a situation like this. Now, one of the other things my lawyers at least relayed to me is reading the word "he's extremely rich," so the lawsuit seeks $1 million in damages, is quite possibly one of the biggest mistakes you can make when actually threatening litigation. Because this is what a court will look at and say, this is why you're actually hitting them, because you just want a payday. Now, when you also read the words class action lawsuit, this isn't a class action situation. This is another example of Max utilizing ChatGPT for legal advice, when ChatGPT has been known to get dumber, and you can look up the litany of lawyers that have used ChatGPT and been laughed out by judges imaginable. So later on it says all you would have to do is testify against him, particularly regarding his actions, not speaking to any of you about the evidence and the impact his behavior has had on you, which is materially false. I have actually spoken to Spencer and the other victims in this situation, some of them privately, obviously. I don't like to make a public case of something that is ongoing. Spencer has agreed to be the lead plaintiff, and I'll do all of the hard work. How can you have a plaintiff in a class action lawsuit? Wouldn't it be a representative? Again, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm also a little smarter than ChatGPT, which just Googles information, I would say. Let us know if you're interested. This could have a huge impact on the case against Cade. Now, when I read this, I was like, what?
Stargate.
One of the actual users here said, dude, no, can this stop? Again, even the people on the server, and from everything that I've been told privately, were not okay with any of this. So even Spencer in this situation writes, I think this is important personally. Muta has breached terms of the NDA, and his actions have caused cyberstalking and harassment. And this is dangerous. If he doesn't learn, what stops him from doing similar in the future in relation to other cases? I agree with waiting for blank, though just in case, if it is plausible, Muta should be held accountable. His behavior is disgusting. My behavior on reaching objective truth is in fact disgusting, which I find really disgusting. And of course, Max here, like a dog following his leader, writes agreed. And of course, Max dangles $1 million payday in front of these bereaved individuals as if it's going to help their case.
Autopilot
Imagine
jumping.
involving survivors in a totally separate legal case that really doesn't have anything to do with them. Do you really want to put people through that kind of trauma? Like, Jesus Christ, look, and I'll fully go on here. Max has considered that I'm extremely rich. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm not like Bill Gates or anything, but considering these are actual like victims and they're going through some serious issues against somebody that they're against, I am at least here to provide whatever financial support I can reasonably give to these victims if they want to pursue any form of legal work that they need, whether it be for travel, whether it be to help get a legal thing done, whatever I can provide, I'm there. As offensive as I have seen this, I just want to make it very clear. If there's actual malfeasance that has gone on, I want to be here to do the right thing. And here's the thing about the situation. Neither Max nor I nor anybody on YouTube is a law enforcement professional. All we can do is provide emotional support, liaison to help these individuals who don't really know the way of the world to start speaking with lawyers and law enforcement agencies. And if at times we can provide financial support reasonably, we can do that, which is about all a YouTuber should do. Max was not actively working with lawyers or cops or anything of that nature. Looking into this situation, I have spoken to actual people who have a background in law enforcement, and given that there are eyewitness testimonies, and maybe not in, you know, like the insane amounts of evidence that people were like bringing up, because you have, you know, corroborating testimonies, you have similar testimonies, nothing stops Max and these people from getting in front of a police officer or, you know, getting in front of any law enforcement agency and at least requesting some sort of arrest, getting an investigation started. But that's a totally different thing. Now, one of the things that ended up actually coming out of this situation that was a little surprising, at least to me, was one of the editors that Max had hired, Angry Slug in this situation, decided to be a turncoat mercenary and basically leave Max, leak out a bunch of things, including a 50-minute recording session where he actually had a piece of Max's video where he was going and ripping on other YouTubers. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that I don't really believe the full, like, severity of. I think that Max is playing a character, but what's interesting to me is this clip that you're about to hear.
But I am being the nicest I could be. I could literally cancel you, Charlie. I could literally cancel you.
Why?
And I choose not to.
Why do you talk like this?
It's true, though. It's the truth. Like, I'm the friggin' pedo hunter. Like...
Oh, God. Okay, I get it. Oh.
Just doing my best out here. I told the survivors I would not let them down.
And let him down he has, because unfortunately this case has been made a giant media circus of on the internet, which again should never have been the case. Now, one of the this clip that I played to you was literally him mentioning this infamous clip floating around where he's like, I could cancel you, Charlie. Charlie being Moist Critical, Penguin Zero on the internet, very large content creator, very popular, has an absolutely impeccable record on the internet. Now, this is a clip that really bugs me
Absolutely
a lot of ways,
impeccable.
even if you had it completely out of context, or if it had some attachable humor context.
Don't know about that.
Look, at the end of the day, when you say that you can cancel somebody because you are a pedo hunter, yet you have 0 arrests, that literally puts two things into my head. Either you come up with some random BS evidence and basically ruin somebody's life, or you have evidence and you've just been sitting on it waiting for a proper
Has
time
increased.
to cancel somebody. None of this actually appears right. And by actually wearing this pedo hunter badge and chasing people out on the internet, you have to be really careful with
Nice,
the
2
kind of
clusters
allegations that you
and
make.
138.
For Max, his entire persona on the internet is centered around the hyper-violent Hotline Miami aesthetic that he fails to actually understand the deep meaning behind. But again, with Max in this situation, it's a lot of LARPing versus actually getting things taken care of and done. Now, YouTube sting operations and like chasing people on the internet is not something that YouTube itself likes to endorse, unless, of course, there is an involvement of law enforcement agencies. Now, one of the most infamous people on the internet, Alex Rosen, who was basically responsible for the EDP 445 sting, was recently praised by the Houston Police Officers Union for helping getting rid of like actual predators on the internet, off of the streets. And that's because Alex works directly with law enforcement, and comparing him to like the EDP situation, he's grown and actually has arrests under their belt. So in this situation, obviously, if you're going to be doing this kind of content, you gotta be doing it 100% right. And in this situation with Max, he turned it into more of a LARP than actually trying to do right by children, and again, the people that came to him to get this situation resolved. The other thing I wanted to talk about too with this whole Max situation is, honestly, the whole idea of like hunting down people that are doing nefarious situations like this, and also putting in a bit of distrust in the law enforcement agencies is really weird to me. Look, I'm not gonna say the law is perfect. Obviously, the law gets a lot of things wrong. But if you're somebody who's sitting on their ass and you want to be a keyboard warrior against some of the worst people in our society, then there are things you can do that tangibly helps law enforcement agencies. Look, at the end of the day, if you want to do right by the world, you gotta work within the confines of the law. Max, as far as my understanding is, he really goes after the vigilantism more than working with law enforcement, because he believes that law enforcement, as far as on my understanding, they get a lot of things wrong, and this is why people get to walk free. In reality, people walk free because investigations like this are so mishandled. When you work with law enforcement, if you ever talk to a law enforcement agent, you would realize that there are evidentiary rules. There are rules on how to investigate people. If you break any of these rules, a halfway decent defense lawyer can always get the scummiest person out of the chestnuts, legally speaking. Which is why law enforcement takes time. They dot their I's, cross their T's, and after everything is said and done, they bring the hammer down, and that's why they have super high conviction rate. Because they're not going to waste taxpayer money or their own time chasing after a dud case. They're going to make sure everything works, so when it's time to go to court over this, when it's time to go over trials, they literally come out winning every time. Now, if you want to help law enforcement or the FBI, you can do things like r/trace an object. This is something that I've shown you before, and this is something where you can literally sit down in front of your computer and assist law enforcement agencies by looking at illegal posts that law enforcement agencies put to the internet. For instance, right here, when law enforcement agencies post things like this is actually from an illegal image, right? What law enforcement does in this situation is crops out all of the illegal things. What they do is they keep what they want you to identify. So, if you're somebody who wants to assist an Australian investigation and you recognize what this bet frame is, some of you watching may recognize it. This is something you can immediately identify, relay this to the Australian police, and it will actually help them investigate and put somebody nefarious behind bars. Same thing with this stuff. Like, this is a wall. They're asking you, do you recognize this wall, this room? Do you recognize this location just off this image? And they're basically banking on the vast majority of the internet coming together and somebody giving them a tangible tip. Now, to go back to this cult situation that Max failed to explain properly, one of the cult names, actually, when it came to this vampire werewolf situation, it seems like a lot of the information that has come out has painted this not to something as organized as, say, the Heaven's Gate cult or Om Shinrikyo. This is more similar to something like a an ERP, an erotic role play, or you could say like a role-playing group of that nature, right? Between what seemed like at the time young adults. One of their only websites that I ended up finding was the Guild of Divinity, one of the item shops where they were selling like t-shirts which had some of these awful, terrible goddamn wolf designs onto it. But again, they also had YouTube channels which, you know, Freedom Speech for instance, where they actually talked about, again, things like the Eon Order, the Guild of Divinity, and most importantly, ERP, which, again, as you all know, is erotic roleplay.
Do we all know that? I think maybe if you played World of Warcraft, you might know. But I don't think my mother would know. I don't think like 85% of the world would know.
Some of the actual comments, this is what YouTube should be interested in. If you're a law enforcement agent...
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the chat.
You're a tarnished. I can see it. But I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something?
Approaching
I am Carly,
Stargate.
purveyor of fine goods.
Wait, you can sell that stuff for souls?
Autopilot jumping.
Damn.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
Approaching Stargate.
Nice.
What is it? Still going to put? I am of an selling where the land has been its only time. Let's say, you know, you should buy yourself a crafting kit allow essential. The kit cost but the import.
Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached. Warp drive active.